Hi everyone, my name is Alice and this is my final project presentation for my client project, which was to research the best way to teach students to write using peer review methods. The client for this project is Rania Mardini, who is a writing instructor for students from elementary through high school in San Jose, California. She is passionate about her job and wants to find other ways that she can teach her students writing and grammar. She wants to help all of her students in any way that she can. She understands that each student is an individual and will learn writing differently from the student next to them, so she wants to help each student succeed and be the best writer they can be. She is especially thoughtful about students with learning disabilities and asked me to keep an eye out for specific research about that topic, but didn't want to make it the main subject of the research. The reference interview was conducted both in person and email. Rania was visiting me when I conducted the interview, but I first sent her a list of the questions shown here for her to answer via email. We both know that we tend to retain information better via the written word, so that was the best place for us to start. Once she emailed me back with her answers, we spoke in person about how to refine the question. Her first idea of what she wanted me to research was, does teaching all aspects of grammar actually help students learn to write? And is the way it is currently instructed right for students of every race and class? Has the introduction of technology changed how grammar is taught or how well the students are able to retain the information? The question turned into, how does peer review and student instruction help students to learn writing? Her answers to these questions are, she searched Google Scholar but was only able to locate information either about ESL students or really outdated articles about teaching grammar in a school setting. She wanted to use the information in an applied way to inform her own teaching practices, since many of her students are natively bilingual and ESL-specific methods may not actually be helpful for them. One of the major reasons why she's seeking out this information is because her students really struggle with grammatical rules and terminology, but are better able to engage with those same constructs in the spoken language. She anticipates that the answer will be a little complex, since measuring grammatical ability may be difficult, and since curriculums tend to be more traditional in their approaches, at least in her experience. She hopes that there will be some interesting information via social psychology and things like the growth mindset. She wants both primary and secondary sources, current information and the latest at that, and her preferred type of source is a journal and any kind of scholarship, especially in the educational psychology field. The first thing I did after the reference interview for the project was find as many educational databases as possible. I searched for both educational and psychology fields, and also searched the deep web for articles. I found a lot of the databases by searching LibGuides about education or child development. I found 10 databases to work with, but in the end a few of them had almost nothing along the lines of the research I needed. The most difficult thing was finding material from the last 5 years, since Rania wanted the most current information I could find. On one database, I was astounded at the number of items that came up with my search terms, until I realized I had forgotten to change the dates I was searching. That narrowed it down from a couple thousand to less than 100. Since the question started out with including grammar, the first keywords I tried included teaching grammar. I kept the keywords to a minimum in order to find the best results, as I found that 2 or 3 keywords were giving me the results needed. My go-to terms included student instruction and writing. I found these search terms by looking at the index of articles that fit the question and found a lot of subject terms I wouldn't have thought to search. I also made sure to make use of the thesaurus if it was available on the database, as well as follow any citations in the articles that were about the same topic as the research question. Rania is very much a scholar and basically wrote me a short essay with examples of 3 of her students and how the research helped her to work with him when I asked for her final thoughts. She said she had a great experience working with me, though I think our similar writing and thinking styles certainly helped the project a lot. After the first search, where I sent her 6 varied items to let me know which way the research should go, she was able to solidify the question being asked. That's where it changed from grammar to peer review. She found herself being more perceptive at work while tutoring the students and made sure to inquire more deeply about her students' needs. This also helped her become more aware of the intention of her work, and she has plans on showing some of the research to her boss and other teachers because she feels some of the items could be easily incorporated in their lessons. I tend to do a lot of research for friends anyway, so it was nice to have a formal research project to do, and I really enjoyed this experience. I think that Rania being a researcher also helped, as well as our similar thinking and learning patterns, as I mentioned earlier. I learned that in the future, I need to spend more time reading the articles before sending them to the client, and not just the abstract and title. A few of my findings were not useful at all, and that could have been changed if I had read more of the article. I worked with a few new databases for this project, and I made sure to take a few minutes before researching anything to become acquainted with the database. That way, I was able to utilize the database to its fullest capacity. Asking for feedback was also paramount. Ronnie was visiting while I was doing some of the research, and there were a few times that I was unsure of an article based on the title alone. So I would read the title to her, and she'd give me a yes or no, and then elaborate on why it sounded right or wrong. Overall, I really enjoyed this project, and I definitely look forward to doing more like this in the future.